Man, I'm irritated as shit. I was just, I was just, I was just recording a pre-recorded video where, uh, I was kind of giving my take on the whole Candace Owens, Andrew Wilson thing, and I got like, I'm in the car. I got like 13 minutes in, and then my phone my phone says, no, you're out of space looking ass. Hey, Kelly. So I was like, man, let me just go ahead and I just I feel stifled a little bit by what I witnessed, right? And I watched it twice. Okay. I watched the meat of it twice. And let me tell you what. Hey, Dodie, what's up, baby? Candace Owens is dangerous. That woman is dangerous. Dangerous. And let me tell you why. Okay. And I may still put up the part of the recording that I made just because I was hitting on all the cylinders, right? But um Candace Owens, first of all, let's start off by saying that she was offered 300, like she took $300,000 to do this, this debate. Right now, what I have to say is that you find yourself in a precarious situation where you're in a social media space. You're forced to feel like you got to pick. Hey, everybody. Hey, Nikki. You're forced to feel like you got to pick. Did Andrew Wilson come out on top? Did Candace Owens come out on top? And Nikki, this your fault. You said this gonna be good. Man, I've been kind of wound up in it, man, because let me tell you what. First of all, Wilson and a buddy, they throw together the money. She wanted $500,000 to debate the facts or the Utah rule about Charlie Kirk, right? Hey, what's happening? So they make it happen, right? Now, what I have to say starting off is that she kept using this Utah rule as sort of like the eraser for all things factual, actual, and scientific, right? Well, the Utah rule is it was the overwhelming majority of the statements and things shared during the debate or during the prelim are hearsay. Okay? Now, that's true. It's no different than a grand jury with a true bill indictment. Let me tell you what, the grand jury indictment is the lowest threshold of guilt. When you are true billed, it's the lowest threshold of probable cause. Period. It's the lowest threshold. Okay? Now, what happens is that when you're forced to pick or feel like, when I play into the extravaganza and I feel like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and pick. I was forced to pick the lesser of the two evils, right? It was catty as fuck. It was so catty, you could not even listen to it on 1.25 because Candace Owens took everything personally, right? Everything personally, everything. Well, fact check it. And it's like, this lady is off her rocker. And what I want to point out is that the big charge is aggravated murder. That puts the death penalty on the table right now. Granted, Andrew Wilson didn't know any of the 7 charges. In fact, he thought it was just a generic run-of-the-mill murder charge, okay? Which isn't fact. It's not a fact. Say, baby. So although he didn't know what the charges were, Andrew Wilson certainly behaved and was on the side of justice, right? Andrew Wilson was charged with talking about things like science, DNA, fingerprint, the fingerprint science. Andrew Wilson also was in the military, is a gunsmith, and owned a gun store for a number of years. So she thinks that the Osama bin Laden assassin, that he's a better expert, so to speak, that because he says, oh, I've never seen a shirt blow up. Like, you got to remember that this shirt, it didn't blow up like a balloon. This thing happened like that, right? He just said he wasn't a sniper. At some time, his wife years ago said that he wasn't a sniper. He classified that, but was absolutely a gunsmith. Yeah. So stepping aside from the whole Osama bin Laden thing, right? What Candace Owens absolutely has zero fucking self-awareness about what she's doing is she is absolutely polluting the jury pool. Now, that's in the event that this goes to a trial, right? The death penalty is on the table. So a lot of times when the death penalty is on the table, they're going to probably offer the dude a plea of some kind. And this plea, they gave Luigi Mangione a plea. Like, that's what courts do. They give pleas, right? Even if they say they're not in the last hour, a lot of times they will, right? Yo, what's up, Freeside? So she doesn't understand how terribly she's polluting the jury pool with nonsense. Like, this shooter is a patsy, right? And when you take the side of saying that the shooter is a patsy, oh, he may be involved in some way, but he's a patsy. He wasn't the shooter. What you're automatically saying without saying is that the government got it wrong, and that the government is involved in some form, fashion, or regard to killing Charlie Kirk inside of a conspiracy that is so sloppy that even Candace Owens can figure it out, right? The things that Andrew Wilson relied upon were the science that's available, the DNA, the fingerprints, the debris or dust inside of the firearm that was found in the woods, all these things, right? That's science. You're going to have a scientific discussion about how the things that are physical evidence are physical evidence and the aspects of them, right? Now, when you think about the whole Patsy thing, well, let me step back. I am aware of sort of the high points of the Candace Owens movement, and this broad thinks the Foreign Legion was out to the French Foreign Legion was out to kill her. She's reported it, and what has happened? Nothing. I feel like that's some sort of retribution to going on months-long tirades about Miss Brigitte being a trans person, right? It's a way to claim a victimhood, right? Candace is fucking dangerous. Yeah, the gun matched. She will now, and then you have the whole DJI shattered glass microphone movement, right? I mean, for months she's been trying to, uh, um, she's trying to do the work of investigators, and she's done it horribly. She's now moved on to at least conceding that Charlie Kirk was probably hit with some type of projectile. She doesn't want to say, no, it didn't come from a microphone or whatever. But what she's absolutely conceding to is the fact that someone from the government knows exactly what he was hit with, right? And that they were the shooters, or they manipulated this projectile in whatever way. And that, yeah, no, Nikki, I'm with you. Like, I think Andrew Wilson he was ill prepared, but he came in and his points were valid. And then she just went on this catty, condescending power trip, right? Where somebody do this. Look, what's the population of America? Look it up for me right now. Goes on this catty power trip about how Andrew is this or he's that or he's whatever, yada, 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 right? What's the population of America? I want to say it's like 300 million. Would that be? And I'm going to tell you why this shit is dangerous. Because you have Candace right now, as I was saying in my video that was so rudely cut off, is this. Andrew Wilson, he is more aligned with the tipping point in the Kirk Foundation, the Kirks and all, Erica and all that. He's more aligned with them. He has an understanding with them. Okay. Whereas Candace, she sort of, I got this feeling that she used her relationship with Charlie, and it sort of took on this weird kind of mildly romantic. That's just my take. Now, I know that that's not true, but it's like she is the possessor and the owner of Charlie Kirk and his murder, right? Bruchette is a dude. Well, we're not even here for that. Now, when you also understand that Candace, she said, if Erica, 349 million. Okay, hold that thought. When she said, if Erica tells me to stop, I'll stop. I'll hands down, I'll drop it in the dirt, moving forward with life. Erica did that. She asked her to please stop. Here we are. Okay. Now, someone do this. Someone go over to the debate and tell me how many people viewed the debate. I think when I watched it again this morning, it was like 2.4 million or something like that. And why I'm making this point is that without her understanding, she sure is a handsome fella. Without her understanding and having zero self-awareness and understanding how she, passes herself off as this martyrer for Charlie Kirk, how she is actually doing a crazy, huge fucking disservice to the whole situation, right? Like, let's imagine for a moment that we still live in an America where there's not robots as jurors. AI isn't solving, or AI is not rendering verdicts, that it's actually human beings. Let's imagine that for a minute. And that people who could be mechanized by Candace Owens, if this shooter doesn't take a plea, will definitely, there's definitely the opportunity that she could pollute the mind of people that could end up being potential jurors, right? I mean, so much so that, you can start to theorize that, hey, probably the lower class, the lower socioeconomic is really never who you see as jurors. And that I think that her per capita is more the socioeconomic that is going to be a juror, right? Now, this is Provo, Utah, right? It's Provo, Utah. You are not talking about New York City or San Francisco. Those people from that locale are definitely watching everything. They're glued to it. A lot of them probably know someone that was there and saw it themselves. So there's this attachment to it, right? She has zero idea of what she's doing. And that it almost looks as if she actually is playing the position she thinks Andrew Wilson is playing, right? She thinks, she's got to be thinking, guess what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick my finger in this damn trial and I'm going to whirlwind it, right? I'm going to whirlwind it. What happens? What kind of crow does she eat if this boy, this shooter, takes a plea bargain? If he takes a plea and admits that it was him, then what? What is she capable of doing at that point? She doesn't even understand the reach that she's going to probably have in this. Now, let's imagine let's imagine to a point. We get to a point where this debate, say it gets 3.49 million views. We've got 349 million people in America. What that means is that this video has been viewed by 1% of all of America. 1% of all of America would have been exposed to this bullshit. Now you can go in and you can look at the engagement of how many potentially how many likes there were, right? So when you look at the likes, let's say there's, I don't know, there could probably be 1 million likes on it by now. You got 1 million likes. It's slowly working up. Anyone that will put a thumbs up is certainly someone that supports what she's saying, right? So I don't know. I think it's much more interesting than everything else that's going on the internet, especially things that are low-hanging fruit to us, right? I mean, that's a bunch of sodomite stuff. But when I look at who took the W, in my opinion, even understanding, because I think to a degree, it was sort of a multifaceted thing for Andrew Wilson. It was a way to make his page hot. It's a way to put him in the news. He's going to start garnering fees to take, he'll get that 300,000 back quick. He'll get that back in just interview money, right? He'll get that right back. He took the W. He took the W, and that like a good lawyer, not even a good lawyer, like a medium rare lawyer, He got off his shots, and he did it in a way where he reminded people of shit like her thinking she's important enough that the whole French Foreign Legion would be wanting to kill her. That bitch is delusional. She is absolutely delusional. And I wished that Andrew would have been a little more prepared, but he definitely I'm not here to tell you that he's not doing it for Tipping Point and for the Kirks to try to rectify things that she's done or is going to do moving forward in the name of Charlie Kirk and the desecration of him. But it also had a personal benefit for him, right? But the takeaway is that Candace Owens is dangerous, and she's dangerous to every single person that's around her and that cares about her and loves her. And that I think she actually does believe the French Foreign Legion wanted to assassinate her, right? Then that puts her on the level of other political journalists, or I think she thinks she's a politician of some sort, right? Like, if the French Foreign Legion was out to get her, wouldn't it stand to reason that her children and her husband and her family would also be low-hanging fruit in that situation? Her friends, her colleagues, all of that stuff, right? And now Charlie Kirk. Like, I'm convinced that her complete aim is to absolutely decimate his trial, right? For whatever reason. But she's absolutely trying to undermine the whole trial. And this is the thing. It's not just jurors that get polluted. Witnesses get polluted. Eyewitnesses get polluted. Defense attorneys can get polluted. DAs, prosecutors, politicians can all get polluted by this shit. And what's interesting about it, and I think tomorrow I'll do a live stream and cover, interweave this stuff into some of the stuff that's going on over there with the sodomites. And it's called forensic fandom. Forensic fandom. You can do a little research on it tonight. Forensic fandom and like the participatory art of true crime, right? It's the ability to have input. It's the ability. There's so much mental health that goes into dark fandom or forensic fandom. It's scary. It's really scary. And I don't even know what you got going. Don't come over here with that. It's scary. So tomorrow, I look forward to Forensic Fandom live stream, and I'm going to show you there's a few doctors that are really, really, really researching the whole. It's a phenomenon, right? And no offense, ladies, but the main characters of all of this are what they call bored box wine house moms, where you have two choices as being an unemployed woman that is in this toxic field of forensic fandom. You have two choices: to be toxically involved and negatively affecting true crime online, or day drinking. And a lot of these people do both, right? A lot of these people do both. So, yeah, Candace Owens, you're dangerous and you're foul, right? You're foul. And that's really all I have to say about that. I just had to get it off my chest because I was really just gonna upload the video, but that didn't work out. So um big W for Andrew Wilson. Candace Owens, take the L. You are a dangerous, dangerous insect. Anyways, um, I will check all of y'all later on tomorrow, and we'll be covering the forensic fandom, and I'm gonna get y'all hip to all of the aspects of forensic fandom because when you get engaged and you realize what forensic fandom is, as soon as you start hearing the dynamics of forensic fandom, you start to think of all the sodomites that are doing the wild stuff. Anyways, I love all of y'all individually. Remember, the absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. Have a great day.